Black spending matters.
Black spending matters.
Black spending matters.
If we can be able to facilitate the black dollar and put it all together, maybe we can start building empires that way.
How do you feel about how black people spend money today?
Too many of us are consumers.
Oh, we're horrible at it.
Welcome to another episode of Black Spending Matters. We are your hosts. I am Jamil Patterson, and over to my right we have the founder of Black Spending Matters, the lovely
Joy Tyson.
And in studio today we have a special guest. He is the founder of melanatedpeople.net, and his name is Asabudo Akala Apapo. I said it right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. How you doing, good brother?
I'm all right. How your family doing today?
Oh, we doing pretty good.
Yes, great.
Awesome.
So you're coming all the way from, where are you calling from, Chicago?
Chicago.
Chi-town.
Awesome. How's the weather out there?
Cold.
I bet, man. Yeah. We complaining in the Bay Area, but it's nothing like up there. Y'all got to deal with snow.
Right.
Right now ain't no snow, but we got this 20-degree weather, so.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you got the president talking about sending the feds out there.
I don't know what to say about that.
So we asked you to come on our show. Thanks again. To talk about your website, your social network site, Melanated People. Can you kind of give us some insight on that?
Well, pretty much what Melanated People is our voice, right? I don't know how many people can say that they experience being blocked, banned, put in jail, or pretty much, in my opinion, discriminated against.
On Facebook?
Yeah, Facebook, Twitter, whatever site, it doesn't even matter. But it was all because we voiced our opinions, being the people that we are, facing the things that we face. And it's just like, why do we subjugate ourselves to these ways, for lack of better words, just to be on something that's supposed to be popular? Why don't we create our own? Why, after 100 years of going through the same old, have we not taken that step yet? And so it came to me, all right, let's do this. What I need to do, how I need to do it, so I got busy and I made it happen. So now we have our own network where we can come and we can voice our opinion about what matters to us without worrying about somebody else getting into their emotions because they feel a certain type of way.
Right. So how long did it take you to develop this website?
I have been thinking about it since Bland, Sandra Bland, I want to say. And it's like, it was thoughts here and there, putting ideas down, trying to figure things out, touching it every so often. But when the situation with gangs happened, that's what made me really start digging into it the way that I need to in order for me to make it happen. Because here's an example that there's a truth being blocked. There's a story hidden, and it shouldn't be that way, And I'm not saying, I guess I am saying, it was done on purpose, And so for me, if that was my sister, my mother, my daughter, I have a real big issue with that. And so all that was the driving factor behind me actually getting to the point where I made the site. So if we want to talk about from inception, 18 months, like with ideas and everything. But if we talking literal work, 3 months, I want to say.
Grinding it out. It's interesting too, right? Because the conversation you bringing up, it reminds me of a Scarface verse with Ice Cube, when he said they trying to take away our only means of communication amongst our people.
And we were always considered evil. Now they're trying to bust our only code of communicating with our people.
And I think nationwide or worldwide communications amongst black people is very important as well.
Right.
So you created the network yourself?
What do you mean?
Do you have a
Did
team?
you have a team, or did you?
Yeah, I
create it
mean,
on your own?
I got people working with me to make things happen. I'm not like a programming genius, anything like that. And definitely not into marketing and people ideas to that level. You know, I'm the average Joe, low key. You know, kick it with my family. You know, so I just it was a lot of groundwork, and my people they really helped me. My wife, she supported me. Ashay Taz, one of my people, she jumped out there. She started building the connections that I needed to get certain things together. So, yeah.
How long has your site been active?
We actually launched in August of 2016, but the iOS and mobile app just released in January of this year.
Okay, that's a few weeks.
Yes, a few weeks. What is? I know you've been talking about it, but what is the mission statement or the purpose for melanatedpeople.net?
The purpose is to build us a global network where it doesn't matter what you believe, where you come from, as long as you're blessed by the Son, that you have a place to come and voice your opinion, a place to network, socialize with your friends, your family, connections that you meet on the internet. You share your pictures. If you want to write stories for our people, we got a blog section that's strictly dedicated to that, you know. It's to give us a social media platform that could be used worldwide for pretty much any purpose.
Globally. Right, because I see the red, black, and green in the background, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
And, it kind of reminds me of Marcus Garvey to a certain extent, what you're doing, because, he created a newspaper that was a communication systems for black people across the country. And we know that his mission statement was linking black people up, across the world. So do you see yourself kind of, in that similar plight?
We are our ancestors reborn. They live through us. So we all should see ourselves in that light on where we are trying to link up globally. Is it my specialty? I heard a call and I answered the call. It wasn't something that I said that this is what I'm going to do with my life. It was just, hey, I'm listening. We all should see ourselves in that light on where we are trying to link up globally. Is it my specialty? I heard a call and I answered the call.
Kind of a spiritual thing.
Well, what are some of the challenges you faced in trying to create this network?
I mean, I don't really want to call them challenges, I set everything up like milestones. So it was objective based, First was coming up with a name that was inclusive to everybody. We all got our different sets out there that we called up under or whatnot. And it was just like, well, what is universal? We don't want to use the word black, right? We don't want to use African American, right? So what is something that we can use, a name that we can all identify with, And so I just reached into our DNA, the one thing that links us globally, And like that's just the thought process that's behind it. Then I had to go into the technical side of it, what platform I'm gonna run, what software, what background, So it was just really trying to get something that was appeasing to everybody and easy to use. So some trial and error behind it to get it to where it's at right now, but no challenges. Nothing for my people is a challenge.
I like that you called it milestones instead of challenges as well. That's a great way to look at that as well. But so do you have any experience in technology?
Yeah.
Prior to melanated people.
So technology, like history or whatnot. I'm actually in school for computer information science. A master's degree up in that is what I'm working for. My job, my 9 to 5, is around technology.
And that's that's very important today because we living in a tech world, and in the 90s, that was the first, I think, tech bubble.
The 1990s was a great decade for anybody who was really in almost any business. I mean, we had the tech bubble, so you had people who were very, very young making not just $1 million, 10 millions, but literally hundreds of millions of dollars.
The new economy, is it a boom without end?
The culture at large, had this experience during the internet boom, during the real estate bubble.
It used to be the impossible dream, becoming a millionaire. But in these days of the fast buck and the big deal, the dream isn't so elusive anymore. In fact, the instant millionaire is a pop phenomenon.
But African Americans, our community, really didn't take advantage of that, back then. And I think this is the second time, for us to really get on board.
Right. As far as it go about the usefulness of technology, like you said, this is the era that we living in. Yeah, we got computers in our pocket and everything, but we need to understand how they work. We need to be able to get into the program and fix them ourselves, And I can see in Chicago that there are a lot of African-based computer shops and repair stores that's opening up that's specializing in the hardware. Now I also know people who going to school for this. So, I mean, we coming up. We doing our thing.
Right, and see, like, you talking about Chicago, too. And I'm glad that you putting more of a positive spin on Chicago. Because, all you hear about is violence and the drill rappers and the rappers beefing with each other. But there's a lot more to Chicago than just, the nonsense.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but it's like that with any one of our towns, I mean, as we all know, we portrayed in a negative light. They never celebrate anything that we do, but they quick to condemn us, So, I mean, I was born and raised in Chicago. And I think for me to be born and raised in Chicago in the hoods that I grew up in, I'm doing pretty good, So everything can't be bad.
Right. And see, that's another purpose for melanatedpeople.net is to promote more of the positive activities of our people.
Right.
Because a lot of times, you just see the fighting and the ratchet stuff. But we don't know. Oh, go ahead.
That's a piece of the terms and agreements, of using melanated people. It's nothing that's going to interfere with the growth of the African community globally, So we don't, all that extra fighting, getting into it, attacking people, that's the only thing that's not allowed when it comes down to melanated people.
It seemed to be allowed on Facebook.
Right, but when you turn around and you put something up on that ladder, on them ladders about us doing something good or about getting a message out that is going to change us, that's the first thing to come down,
One of the things that stood out for me when I went to your website was the logo. Can you kind of explain how you came up with your logo?
The logo. I mean, the logo is our mission statement, As you can see, it's the globe, right? Representing the reach of melanated people, that this is what I'm reaching to. I'm not reaching to just the Americas, just the Caribbean, or just over in Africa, It don't matter where you at. If you got internet access and whatever government you under don't block us, you're more than welcome to come and join up with us, The two rings that you see on there, that is really the Umoja symbol, from the Akan people. And that's something that I grew up with, seeing my whole life, that represented unity. So that's what that is. And well, the M is simply melanated, I went for the green, pretty much based because that was a good color for me.
Yeah, green symbolizes a lot of things, growth, money.
Yes, sir.
But speaking of that too, because just like even on like a cultural or spiritual note, I feel good when I can connect with somebody in Ghana. And I think what you're doing, it helps to connect black people, across the world. Like when slavery has separated us, So.
Do you have anybody in other countries that are members on the site?
We have people from other countries that are members on the site. based on my analytics, you know, there's a little profile page that you fill out when you first sign up, and that's the location that we ask for. I don't ask you for your city, I don't ask you for your community, I ask you what country are you in, because it's really important that we know where we need to reach to. We have people from South Africa, from Kenya, you know, from Ghana, from Nigeria. We got people from the Caribbean, of course, from the U.S. Majority of our people is from the U.S. The U.K. is picking up as well, too. So, I mean, right now we are reaching really good, but there's a lot of growth yet to happen.
Right, and you know, that can, that also affects us economically as well. Because, you know, the Chinese are in Africa right now, too, for economics. You know, and if we can bridge some of those gaps, which Marcus Garvey was trying to do originally, then we can really change some things for ourselves on both sides of the globe.
So what are some of the ways you're trying to reach out or promote melanatedpeople.net to those across the country, in other countries? What is some of your strategies for that?
I mean, it's all organic growth, right? One of my admins ran a paid advertisement on Facebook, and it did reach over into the African countries, but because of the language translation issue, it really wasn't effective. So we kind of killed that. And it's all word of mouth as far as we go about advertisement. When speaking about economics and some of the things that's going on Melanated People, I consider everybody on Melanated People to be a part of my team, first and foremost. So with the programs, the groups that's starting to be established, like the Black Independence Movement, right? And what they're looking at ways to become self-sufficient. And they got a nice group on Facebook, they got a nice group on Twitter, a nice group on Melanated People now. And it's about getting down and putting in that grassroots hard work that needs to be done in order for us to get up and get to where we need to be at. We have other things that's up and coming. One of my team members, Infami, he just recently dropped a post, you know what I'm saying, about different little towns that's vacant.
These are the homes that people talk about for $1. You can buy those for $1.
You know, that we can pick up and we can rebuild where the infrastructure's already there. And, you know, it takes a little money, a little investment to get everything running. But he gave an intricate plan about establishing the way that we need to, you know. Economically, sooner or later, Melanated People will incorporate e-commerce, internet store, where people will be able to buy, sell, and trade. If I don't find another avenue for that first.
I love the movement, man. I love the movement. How many admins do you have?
I got 3 right now. Pretty much one for each shift of the day. There's not a lot of complaints, I guess you could say, or monitoring issues that we need to take care of. So
or trolls.
Say again?
Or trolls.
No. I haven't ran into that. You know, somebody tried to get on there one time and they tried it, but the community tore them apart. I haven't seen them back since.
That's good. You know, we've had a couple of trolls in Black Spinning Matters, but the community tore them apart too.
And that's what. So once they get a good whipping, you know, they don't come back. So.
So why do you feel it's important for African Americans to go into business for themselves?
Simply put, money is power. At the end of the day, no matter how you word it, in the world that we live in, money is power. In order for Africans to have power, we need to have that money. So economic power, economic growth is based on the individual in the community that builds the community, right? Because there is no community without the person. So it's very important that in all areas, in all fields, in all aspects, that we reach out and we start to develop, not only for us to be profitable, but for us to self-sustain as well too.
Right, and then, you know, to get away from that stigma that we have to sell drugs to make money. You know?
No.
You know,
I don't. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, yeah, not, you know, because if we don't provide alternative examples, then that's all, you know, people in Chicago and the Bay Area, that's all they think is, you know, drugs is the only way to really get some real paper.
Well, this is what I seen. I'm an 80s baby. So I've seen some things transform over the last 30 years. And to me, what I see out there now, it ain't worth it.
Yeah.
It ain't worth it at all.
I agree.
It's just a total waste of time. You know, back when I was a kid, you know, seeing the movies, it made you think that was the life. But when you really look at what the average Joe might make standing out there,
it's a shift.
Right. So why not just go and get you a job, and you ain't got to worry about the police stopping. You ain't got to worry about nobody coming by trying to shoot you. You ain't got to worry about your taxes and all that. You know, when you stand out there, you do a lot. Now, I mean, I understand we got to do what we need to do to eat. No disrespect to anybody who's taking care of that business, you know, because I respect that mentality, because that mentality is what we use to actually make small businesses.
Right.
So much praise to the mentality. It's the method that I have an issue with. There's better ways. I totally agree with you. And I know Chicago and the surrounding areas is definitely about money and about multiple ways to get that money. It is not limited to that, nor is there a trap around it where you can't move from it.
You can see in the environment all the money that was coming in from the drug trade. And today you don't really even see that in the environment. But speaking
of one thing that has remained a constant, I believe, is, you know, opportunities haven't really changed, you know, for people. So it's very important for African Americans to go into businesses, because we really need to create jobs for our youth and for those who are trying to make a change, because so many times people want to make a change, but they're not able to do so because of their record, you know, because of their credit or whatever the case may be. They can't pass the backgrounds and stuff like that. So it's really, to me, pivotal that we create opportunities for these young folks to get off the streets. We need to hand them the job, like, here, come, you know, we know about your background, but we're going to give you a chance. We have to do that for our future generations.
A job or a career.
Right.
And honestly, you're absolutely right. That's what it's about. It's about creating opportunities. It's about changing our demographics. It's about changing our struggles, right? So, I mean, and that's why I gave props to the hustle mentality.
Right.
Because, again, that hustle mentality is what's going to keep you driving when it's the dead of winter, when you out there by yourself, you know?
Right.
And so if you take the same mind and apply that to social economics, it changes the game. It puts you ahead of everybody else that has to go to school to learn those tactics. You already got them.
Right, that's true. Head of the game.
Right. And then, you know, like I said before, you know, there's also been masterminds, you know, like the Larry Hoovers or the Jeff Forts out there as well. But how do you feel the black community could better utilize technology?
So many ways. Jeez. I mean, I'm gonna go off of what I think I know. I can't say for certain for 100%, but I'm just gonna throw some things out there. Mobile application development is the wave of the future. It's what we at right now, you know. And so you got people who have these small businesses, these basic websites that we can create mobile apps for, that give them access to e-commerce, you know, that once you learn mobile development, you'll be able to get into the advertisement behind it, and you'll be able to develop ad platforms, if not for anything else, but for small businesses, you know. You can have the Chicago Ad Network that specializes in small businesses, where the only thing they advertise on that network, because, you know, you get the little flags on your phone or whatever it is, showing you the different things, right? So imagine if you're in Chicago and you rolling down the street, or you on the bus, or whatever it is that you're doing, and you know texting on your phone, and you get the little network to pop up to say, hey, we got a chicken and waffle place right here. Hey, we got a tire place right here, right? And so it'll drive that economic factors that we need in order for us to become profitable.
Right, because there's a couple of things to touch with that as well, but because we spend $1.1 trillion in America, so a lot of it, is we need to make sense of all this money that we have and what's going on. And I think websites and technology is a good way to chronicle our situation and redirect some of this $1.1 trillion.
Oh yeah. We got a number of different organizations out there that's actually working on that right now to redirect the wealth, right?
Black Spending Matters is one. But yeah.
The dollar only spends a limited amount of time within the African communities, and I say African as race, not as nationality, just so we're clear about it.
Yeah, we clear.
With it spending so little time, even if we do have $1.1 trillion in spending power, how good is that? What good is that doing? So we hold it for a few minutes and it's gone. So if you divide that 1.1 trillion by however many minutes it is up in the day, that to me would be our average worth in spending power. So it's a lot of driving factors when we start getting down into the economics of it, and it's like we got to do better, when it comes to managing money and passing on generational wealth. There's no question about that. But in order for us to get to that point, we need to redefine who we are as a people, as a race.
Right, because it's like if we're to redirect that $1.1 trillion, how do we quantify that? How do you exactly do that? And that's an equation. That's a definite equation. Because you can't. It's not something you can just do tomorrow.
No, it's going to take time.
Yes, it is.
In my own personal belief, we spent the last 150 years being manipulated, being led to a certain area.
Yeah.
We continue to support the outstanding economic structure. And so, if it took us 150 years to get there, it's going to take us probably another 150 years to get back. But it's all about starting at work, and that's what's
Right. And before we end our interview, I just wanted to ask you if you can just give some advice to some of our young African-American entrepreneurs that are probably facing some milestones / challenges. What is some advice that you would give to those young people?
Yeah, some millstones.
Don't stop. We can't afford for you to stop. Look to your family. They're your support. They're your cornerstones. Without my family, my wife, my children, that drive, that motivation, it wouldn't be what it is. So when it gets rough like that, lean on your support. Don't be too prideful where you can't say, hey, let me talk to you for a minute. What do you think about this? You know what? Just listen to me and let me vent real quick, right? Look to your people to financially support you, to patronize your business. It is really important that we become self-sufficient.
And that ain't the last question. She always asks, so what does Black Spending Matters mean to you? You got
Come on with it.
Well, he asked, so.
No, you got it. I was mimicking you, but.
So my last question, he is right, for the interview is, what does Black spending mean to you?
Power. Simply put.
That's right. Black spending is power.
We ain't talking about the TV show.
No.
With Ghost in them.
Black spending is power. That's right.